2, 1.
Action. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm in jail. No, our store is not open yet. Well, it won't open until we're done. But I'm Robert Roman. Most of you know me. I've recognized some of the names. Some names I don't recognize. So if you're new with us today, welcome. We're going to have a fun time. I'm going to open up with a little number first, and we got a fun, and then I'll kind of give you a little bit of what we're going to do today. So anyway, Robert Roman, and you know what? I think I should open up. If I'm going to open up with a song, I got to loosen up a little bit. So is it okay if I take off my my jacket? Is that all right, folks?
I think
Nice
that's
looking jacket.
Maybe I want to get comfortable. Is that okay? Because today I wore my suspenders. Oh,
classy.
Looks like FBI.
well, you know,
He's right from Petticoat Junction.
years ago I used to wear suspenders all the time. And then I stopped. But every time I get new trousers or a suit, I always put the buttons in just in case. And today I said, you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different. But anyway, let me start off. We'll play a little music, warm up a little bit. Oh, I don't have my jacket on to flip the thing. Oh, wait, one more time. I want to do this one. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hold the applause. Hold the applause. It's just a nice. It's always good to warm up with a little bit of music in the morning. I always say sometimes music's better than coffee to get you going, right? But we're going to be doing on a class today on our Roland organ here, and there are some people that have Rolands, and I noticed there's some people that have Lowrys. And here's what's cool: as Jerome and I were preparing the class. We found a lot of similarities to the models, but the way they word things a little different. So hopefully everyone will be able to pick up something today, and I'm going to kind of enlighten you on some little tips and tricks. Now, because I don't know everyone, I'm going to keep. We decided we're going to keep today's class and hopefully future classes to come. But today's class, we want to keep it a little bit simple, but we want to cover some cool features that hopefully, if you could take at least one thing today and put it in your arsenal of things that you've learned, then we've accomplished. We did what we're supposed to. A little echo there. So the first thing I want to talk about, that number that I played in a couple, I want to refer to some of the songs that I played last week. I've discovered some cool features that the model has. I did it in this song, and I did it a little bit when I played. What was the song I played last week? Jerome and I go back and forth on this because there's always a couple places in this song where I play a different chord, and he's like, no, you got to play this chord. And it just proves that you play the chord that you want. And if it sounds good to you, that's all that matters, right? Okay. So I played a style last week called Survive Disco. Now, the song I played was I Will Survive. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is the intro. It's a great introduction, I might say. I could just play that introduction all day. And then you get a little workout in there. Okay? That's not the class, folks. But this is what I did. And I'm going to stop right there. But as I was playing the song, what happened is we had, I want to say about 80 people, close to 100 people last week. And I can't tell you how many emails I got afterwards saying, what did you keep doing putting your hand up over there? And I just said I had a nervous twitch because it was my first time doing a concert on the Roland. That's not true. Over to the right here, I'm going to make you a little dizzy for a moment. And Jerome was kind enough to send me the manual, but I did not pull it up. So I don't know if you could see that there. Let me zoom in. Sean, are you there?
I can see it pretty
Yes, sir.
good, Robert.
Okay. What does that say right there, Jerome or Sean?
D-beam.
D-beam. Now, I haven't figured out what D-beam means, but I know what you can do with it. In fact, I have a special guest. David, do you know what the term DB stands for, D-beam?
Actually, I don't.
That is a term Roland used for their effects button or your effects button.
It's a fancy word for something that says you can do lots of cool things with it. How's that for
Well, I think it's a Star Trek reference. When you use it, you beam up your music.
Okay, guys, you guys are getting carried away. Here's what this means. It's basically a special effects thing. Now, I'm going to leave it there for a moment, but I got to take the camera and put it back in a minute. My arms are getting tired.
Hold on, Rob. Tell them
Yeah.
about the red light and the green light.
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about what I know, because I'm going to demonstrate a few of these. So I know what the red light does. It does what it says. Like this one says pitch. But I think if you do the green, it gives you a percussion effect.
Yes.
So, now be careful. It's going to be loud. Let me turn it down. Whoa. Okay, so that's what that does. I'm going to show you the other two in a minute with some other songs that I should have done last week. But if I put it on pitch, what happens is when I have, okay, this saxophone, okay, when I hold the note down and I put my hand here, it's going to bend the note. Now I'm going to put the camera here down for a second, folks. My arm's getting tired. So here's the note as it is. Now watch what happens. So it bends the note. So most of you are familiar with the expression pedal has what's called a glide switch, and you can bend those notes. Well, sometimes it's a little more convenient to just do it here. So I did this. So that's pretty cool there. Now the other, actually I'm going to leave this camera here for a moment, and I'm going to do this. I wasn't planning on doing it this way, but now that I've got the whole world watching and we're recording, I'm going to have to do this, and hopefully I don't knock down my camera, and tilt the camera here. Okay, hopefully you could see that well enough. This wasn't part of my script, folks, so bear with me. All right, so as I was playing the song earlier, I was doing this number here. I had the pitch on, so I went. don't know that I would bend the note that much, but I'm just doing it so you can see what I'm doing. Now, back up a little bit here. So, you know. So as you can see, it just bends the note. Now, there's a couple other cool things, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but this is how every instrument in the world, Lowry, Techniques, Roland's, you name it, they always have features and things that what we call default to. Okay, so this defaults to, when you press it again, it turns green. I'm going to turn the volume down, and when I put my hand there, you get this. That's a great for you want a finale. The other cool one that I did earlier, if you put it on the what's called the filter and you touch it twice to the green, it does a cymbal roll. Ooh, that's cool. So as I was playing, I might do something like this. Pretty cool, huh? So you can have a lot of fun with that. And then the last one here has a couple other features, but the one that it defaults to is what's called a bell tree. Now, if I had discovered this last week when I was playing this song with the love beat, okay, I was playing. What I could do is program it, oops, with a bell tree right there. Now, what's cool about this is you don't have to touch anything. You just wave your hand over it, and it senses it. So I could do. Again, I'm not going to use that bell tree over and over and over and over, but these are just some cool little effects there. Now, I know some of you put in the chat, do you have the Rolands? You probably already know that already, and if you don't, hopefully you learned something new. And for another time, Jerome and I were talking, that might be a special class we do where we go in and show all the little different things because you can program it with different features on there, okay? Now, I'm going to make you a little dizzy for a moment and bring the camera back over here. So I can sit down somewhere. All right, how are you doing so far, gang? Some cool little things in there. Now, this next thing I want to talk about is really, really neat because this is actually, as the years went by, many manufacturers, as they progressed as far as they went until they stopped manufacturing them, they had these, each one called it a little bit differently. Lowry had its own way of calling it. It was called, on the Lowry, is called rhythm presets for many years. Techniques, Jerome, what did Techniques call their setup? The one-touch, was it one-touch setup?
One-touch play.
One-touch play. And then Lowry changed it to style setup. On the Roland, it says one-touch program. Okay, and what do they all have in common? They all do the same concept, which basically means when you pick a rhythm style, okay, and if I was brand new at this, which I don't really play this model a lot, but when I sit down, every time I sit down, it never fails. I'll say, Drum, what do I use for this style here? What if I want to do that big band style that I was playing? What do I do? He said, just push the one-touch program button, Robert. And it never fails. It sets it all up. Now, here's what's really cool, is that when you touch the one-touch program, you have two ways of playing it. And I might have to zoom my camera over again, see how long I can. Okay, give me a minute, folks. I should have plugged in two cameras here. All right. Now this, believe it or not, a lot of times when I do a concert, Jerome knows me. I always like to have presets and setups, and that way I'm not ever goofing up. Well, I didn't have it ready for this, and so I had to rely on what the organ gives me. I did my whole entire concert on, you got another camera for me?
Yeah.
I need it plugged in over here. Okay. So I'll have that when I need it. So I did my whole entire concert, believe it or not, last week, and I think Jerome did too, using this concept. So right here, there's a button that's called One Touch Program. For you Lowry owners, that's Style Setup or Rhythm Preset. If there's anybody out there that has a technique, it's called One Touch Play.
Right.
Okay? And all I did is I pressed that button, and this comes up on the screen. Okay? And there's two versions of this. One is called Hobbyist, and if I do it again, the other one's called Advanced. And the only difference between the two is that these setups here, if you could see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? What it does is it programs those 4 buttons with 4 different great setups for that style that I've chosen. In this case, I have what's called stage vocal, okay? So anytime I pick any rhythm, and I have this One Touch program in play here, there's Hobbyist and Advanced. Now, I think I disconnected this, so give me a second from the sound. Let me put it back to where you can hear it. Okay. All right, so if I have this on stage vocal and Hobbyist, this is what you're going to get. That's the intro. Let's just play. Nice, great organ sounds. The setups are very simple. Now, so it's not Hobbyist Advanced based on a skill level of playing. It's based on the way the arrangement is being made for that style. So for those of you who have that, don't think I can't use Advanced because I'm not an advanced player, or I'm an advanced player, I'm not going to use the Hobbyist feature. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is put it back to the Advanced. And let me make sure I get this back on so you can hear this. Okay?
Rob, excuse me, Rob, can I make a suggestion?
You can.
If you hold in the red right button and tap One Touch, it'll pull up the One Touch screen. You won't have to exit all the time.
Well, how about that? You mean here?
The red right button underneath, next to the where it
Right,
says
but-
load next,
For the presets.
where the presets
Oh, right
are.
here?
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
that one, hold that in, and then tap One Touch with.
While
I usually
I'm
do
holding it?
with my thumb. Yeah, and then tap the One Touch with your other hand. All right, now you see the holds button there?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold it. Go ahead, activate it. Now that screen will stay on.
Oh my
On the
God.
90S, on the S series, you had to do that right One Touch, or you would jeopardize having a huge break in the music.
Okay, now let me make sure I didn't change my audio system. Oh, it's still there. Okay.
Yeah,
So if I press and hold that, it just
yeah. Try practicing it with your left thumb and your left pinky.
like
Your
this.
hand's big enough. Yeah, there you go.
My ring finger hurts though.
Oh, poor baby.
I injured it trying to play a C7th chord last week. So just kidding, folks. All right, so there. Hope you're paying attention. This is being recorded live only at Fletcher Music Centers, and we can go back. So you can go back and remember that. Now, so as I was saying, so now these 4 settings here, which is really cool. Now we have 4 different setups, but there's something else that I want to share with you that's really cool. Now this is, I think, is just very clever. So these buttons here, it says variation 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, some organs out there, when you put on a variation, you actually get an entirely different style, rhythm style. And some models, there are some models out there when you put the variation, that's not the case. What this does is it actually gives you a variation of the style that you're listening to. Now, for some of you Lowry owners out there, that's kind of like using the alter style button. So here we have, it's almost like having 4 alter styles, isn't
Exactly.
it? Now here's a great example. So I'm going to take the style that I have on here, that I was using, and I'll play a little something. And then as I'm playing, listen to the variations. Now some of them, sometimes they're subtle, and sometimes it's dramatic. Now listen. Okay? And what it does, when you touch it, it'll do a quick little fill in first. Now listen. Fill in. Now if you listen to that compared to where it was, it's not as busy or not as I don't want to say busy, it's not as orchestrated. And as you go through, you're filling, and now next arrangement. A little bit more. Now listen, number 4. A lot going on. It's like great for a finale. Now, if I go to the disco one that I had earlier, check this out. Now, I want you to listen to it on number 4 first. So if you listen to that style, there's a lot going on. That's kind of like, hey, this is it. Big finale. But watch what happens when I go to number 1. Fill in and simple. Now you can see the arrangement. It's still the same rhythm style though. Number 2 picks up a little bit. Number 3 picks up. And number 4, big. And then what I did last week, I did the Phantom of the Opera. And what's really cool about this is if you're using the setups here, your variations affects the background and the orchestra, so it changes the arrangement of the orchestra, but it does not change the setups here. So you can use these in any combination you want. So as I'm playing and I'm using the one-touch program 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I get these different sounds, and the different sounds for the upper and the lower keyboard, what's happening is the sounds are changing. And it automatically changes the variation, but at any time if I'm playing and I want to change the variation back, this will remain. It is an F chord, Jerome. Okay, so Jerome just proved me, because in the ending there, it plays the same chord progression as that I Will Survive. So
Exactly.
it is an F chord there. I stand corrected. The whole world is watching. So that is my portion. Before I bring Jerome in here, I'll move stuff around for you, Jerome. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? Comments? You can say my suspenders look great.
Robert, how many keys?
How many keys?
72 on bottom and 61 on top.
Jerome said 72 on the bottom and
It's 77.
77. Ooh.
Oh, I missed 5.
Dave just added 5. And then on the top we have 1, 2, 3, 4 octaves
I believe it's 61.
plus 1,
Yeah,
2, 3,
61.
4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 octaves times 12 is 48.
Oh,
Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
32.
4 times 12 is
Oh, 12.
48.
Oh, yeah.
40. 9, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. See, I can count. I is a graduate.
Wow.
Okay. I'll tell you what I like about that keyboard the way it is. It's rare that someone plays down here. So they
Oh.
really give us the range of the keyboard up here. And of course, this also has the ability to do a lower split. So good question there. Any other questions before I make room for Jerome here? Got real tight quarters there. All right. So Mr. Jerome Johnson. Now, Jerome Johnson, I wanted to teach what he was going to teach today, but he basically made me feel guilty because he had this puppy dog face. And no, I want to teach this. This to me is, there are not many organs that have this feature, but now, there's few. The Lowry has it, the Roland has it, but there's some cool things that he was showing me this morning. And so I've got my camera here. So when you're ready, I can actually move the camera. So take it away. Oh, wait. Is your picture in the screen there? Okay.
All right. How you guys doing this morning? I found something really, really nice about this instrument was the music assistant. And if I press the music assistant button,
Oh, well, let me get
can you
close.
zoom in on that?
Let me
Yeah.
zoom in on that for a second.
Because this is a kind of a
Ooh,
unique little
I'm
feature.
going to charge extra for this, Jerome.
It's like your song setup on your Lowry, okay?
Okay.
Or scroll and dial on the techniques in the Yamahas.
Now,
but
folks, just before you go further, can you see that? Give me a quick little nod and point where you're pushing.
music assist.
Music assist is what it says.
It has a little eighth note in there and little like a couple of CDs are out on that eighth note. When I press that, it's going to give me real close to 1,000 different songs. Like a song, well, it's song snippets, I will call it that, because I think Roland had the same problem that Laura had. They couldn't use the actual name of the song. But they played with the words on this, and you can scroll them up. If you notice there, are you still there, Robert?
Yeah, let me move the camera closer. My arm's getting.
Just to kind of give you an idea,
There we go.
you are alone. I think it's Leonard Ronstadt. If you notice those 4 buttons are flashing there, okay, it's probably going to be in whatever style you left it on, Robert. Let's just try it. You alone. Let's see here. Yeah, I remember that song. Carol, what's her name? Just kind of give you a little bit of tidbit. Here's one say, "You don't hurry, love." They're blinking. It's going to give me the introduction and everything. As soon as I make my little finger on the touch.
That's not Can't Hurry.
And ending. No, that wasn't you on her blur. I made a mistake on that one, but anyway, that's what you do when you're doing it live, Robert.
I was like, I thought that song was something else.
Now this one is called Yellow Birds.
Now, before
Yellow.
you go further, just make sure I understand. So basically, like on the Lowry, they call it song setup.
Yes, on the Lowry they call it
the
song setup.
Roland, this feature is called music assist.
Assist, right.
So what it does is it's setting up the instrument for you to play that song with the perfect setting.
Right.
Okay.
Now it also has another
Ooh,
little.
what's that?
It has a hidden function. When I hit the search button, that's asking me, do I want to search the song by name or by condition? Well, of course, we can understand by name, okay? Let's try condition this time, Robert, and
Hold
see
on,
what
let
it
me
does.
get closer
okay?
here. I've got a condition.
Ooh.
Not that kind of condition.
Oh, okay.
though.
This condition here says, do I want to choose a song by tempo, rhythm, genre, or scene? So let's go with genre, okay? Any.
Plus.
Plus, that's right. Acoustic. I can use acoustic styling. I can use a ballad styling. And then if you want to hit start, exit, start. And this gives me everything by ballads. Here's one called All A Way.
Hold on. So you pushed search,
Uh-huh.
and then you searched for a music assist or a song setup that was ballads.
Right.
And then once you did that, it pulls up
all
of
the ballads.
Before you do that, can you hit that scroll arrow down to the right?
Right there?
Just see how many pages you got there.
Always
Just
in
keep
my
going.
mind.
No, just keep going. We're
Oh, how
just
many
curious.
pages?
Well, maybe we won't do them all, but there's a lot of pages.
A lot of
there.
pages of that. That's one here called Georgia.
That's really cool.
That's a really cool feature on this.
Okay, you can pick whatever you want. Now. I just
pick
wanted to
what I
make
want.
sure.
Okay.
That's
Let's
cool.
see. There's so many different ones in here. The greatest love of all. Every time you got out.
Jerome, you
From
haven't
a
played
distance.
Yeah, play it.
Okay.
Let's hear you.
Oh, perfect. Perfect for the song. I got the pedal all the way up, so just in case, I hope it's not too loud. I like that, Robert. Great ending. Another feature on this for you piano players like Gary Veith out there. Now, this is a cool feature that we didn't talk about this morning, Robert. I'm going to turn off the one-touch program, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to utilize the bottom keyboard just for the piano sound. So I'm going to go in here to my, this is great too, but you can search instruments by the whole category. For instance, if I wanted to do piano, they got a whole list of instruments or in groups. For instance, the organ group, the string group. I'm going to choose the piano group, all right? And we're going to go with a natural piano, that one there. And we're going to put it in our left board, okay? And I want to hear this sound pretty good here. And we're going to get the volume up just a little bit. They got a feature here. They also have a damper pedal on here, just like a regular piano, guys. And let's see here. Organ, piano, grand piano. How come I don't have it on, Robert? You telling me? There we go. So now that turns the whole instrument without the split point, which I do have on. I better take it off one touch play.
All right, so you basically took a piano and you put it on the lower keyboard.
Right. Now I got the whole keyboard as a piano along with the damper pedal. That's a pretty good feature for you guys like Gary Veith, who loves his piano styling.
Let's hear it.
Just watch how I sustain it. I got to get my foot over there because I keep forgetting where it is over here. You hear that? Did you get it?
Can you hear the piano, folks? Yes. Okay.
Okay, now let's go back to what we was talking about earlier.
Music assist.
Music assist, okay? Music assist, and let's try one with search by conditions again.
Ooh.
Okay, and I think Robert really liked that
I
one.
I actually touch the genre.
Okay.
Wait a second. Touch the ballad on the genre.
Okay.
Now put that back to, I don't know, factory. If I want it back to normal.
Factory is going to be any style.
Yeah,
okay?
basically, but there was no exit out of that. I
Okay.
did something earlier. No, put it back to normal. Any. Touch acoustic. Factory. And if you could see that, folks, it's an easy way of just getting it back to what's called the factory. Now exit out of that.
Okay.
The one that I was really intrigued with was scene.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean, scene?
I don't know. Let's see.
What does it say? Any?
Any.
Club
Club Roland.
Roland.
Well, Club Roland was for their lesson program.
Easy Play 200. Now, folks, check this out.
It's 200 easy play songs.
Is that from the Hal Leonard books?
I believe so. Let's
We
just see.
think we have a theory.
It is.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Dave.
From
David knows the
Easy
answer.
200 book.
Say it again.
It is from the Easy 200 book.
I
Oh,
thought
we
so.
we thought it was. No, wait, before you go any further. So it says Easy Play 200. Check this out. So there's a Hal Leonard Easy Play book called, I forget the name of the book, but if you plus it up one more time,
Best songs ever.
230. These are all like these are all setups for songs in that book.
Easy play 230.
So just pick one.
Easy play 408. I'm going to use 200 because, we're using
Best
that in my
songs ever.
class right now.
All
Okay.
right.
And exit, I believe.
So now if you hit start, the
Start.
search.
Exit. Start.
So what
And-
you're looking at is a list of all the song setups from that book.
Now, it doesn't tell us the version, but for the most part, they didn't change over the years, okay? I'm right now, I'm using version 8. And I know Blue Songs is in almost every, Blue Skies is almost in every one of those songs, in every one of those books. And Blue Skies, we had that in our class a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to touch it. And that's all I have to do, guys. Touch it, and I'm ready to go.
Ooh. That's sweet.
Those the strings come in then? That's pretty much the same registration I taught last week, okay?
That's really
It
cool
had
stuff.
each one of the steps in it there. Scroll through Born Freeze.
Yeah.
Born Free. Crazy Ballad. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm interested in
I
this.
just wonder what
What-
song you're
Jerome.
going to play with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerome, are you able to turn up the rhythm volume on that instrument? It sounds really quiet compared
Oh,
to
you know
the-
what? I know what I did.
You did something different there.
Let me exit out of there. I know what
System.
happened.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That thing turn off.
Yeah, you
there.
had to stay on. There's a couple of little secret things in here that we have to teach you down the road about this instrument.
Goodies.
Okay. All right.
All right. And what did I hit? What was I hitting that time? It was something I was playing.
Crazy something.
Crazy
You're
ballad.
crazy.
Yeah. You're so crazy.
Just play a couple notes and let's see if it goes through
Okay.
on the bottom keyboard. It's our settings, the way we have this set up, folks.
Can you hear it down now?
Yep.
I'm going to hit number 4.
Variation 4?
Yeah. I'm gonna stop there because I just saw another one I really like. Let's see, does it work pretty good here for us? It's called Chariots of Flame. Pretty interesting. There's another one called Can't Help Loving. That's probably a Ray Charles, wouldn't you think?
We'll find out.
Here's another one called Easter Stride. I wonder is that the Easter Parade? Let's see. I'm gonna start off with variation 4 this time, so we get the full.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds good.
Music Assist is really, really good. And for those people who already play it pretty much, and I was telling Robert this early on in the week, I'm just going to exit that screen, and I'm going to go back to the rhythm section over here, which you can do these arrangements either way you want to do it. You can use the Music Assist, or the quick registration, or the the rhythm section itself. And I just normally like to scroll through here and see what's in the instrument. It is right now on the oldies and the contempo. I got 13 different pages I can choose from. From Blues Boogie, that's probably a good one. Okay.
Before you go further, because you're talking about this, but my camera. So over here, folks, I'm going to try to keep it steady. Hope I don't get you nauseous. Let's see if I can focus locked. Why is it locking my focus? Sorry, folks. All right. So over there, if you can see,
I got 10 buttons over here called the rhythm section, okay?
I'm running out of cord. Give me, folks. I'm sorry. Okay.
Got 10 buttons here. Now, the user button is for if you have anything on your USB or your floppy disk that you can download into this button and have extra rhythms. Well, Roland did that for most of all of their organs. But I like the oldest in the contempo button.
So if you push one of those,
Okay.
what happens is, just go ahead and push one.
All right. I'm going to push it again. So
Okay. Now on the screen,
it's going to give me 13 different categories.
in that case there's 13 pages of styles that's coming from
the rhythm section. Robert, if they had to put these 8 styles and 13 times that on here, they would have buttons all the way over here.
We'd have a very big organ.
Oh, lots of organ.
Well, I'll tell you
place.
what, I want you to do a finale here. Before you do a finale, playing some of those styles,
Okay.
I'm going to do a couple quick announcements, and I think we'd rather close with some music than me talking.
Okay. Sounds good to
So
me.
is that okay with you folks? Okay. All right. So before, I'm going to get the camera set up here. And I'm going to do a couple quick announcements, and then I think you should finish up with a couple of numbers showing those styles. Let me make sure I didn't take off make sure that thing's still where it's supposed to be. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, folks, before I do a couple quick announcements, does anybody have any questions about what Jerome talked about today? Any questions whatsoever? All right. Now, this class is being recorded, and we post these things in multiple places. And so I'm going to let everybody know. Let's see here.
I can pull it up if you want.
Well, yeah, I guess you could. I have it there, but
Okay.
let me do this. I'm going to pull this up, And so if you go to youtube.com/Fletcher Music Centers, it pulls up all of our classes. Is my view showing up correctly there for you?
Yep.
Okay. So you'll see here that everything we do, from our Zoom musicals, our concerts, our classes, and they're all in different playlists. And this class will be put under the playlist that's called the Virtual Product Feature Classes. But right in here, these always show the most recent, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. And what we do is we post all of everything we do record is on our YouTube channel, and it's simply youtube.com/Fletcher Music Centers. We also post them on our what we call our Patreon page, and I'll pull it up, Sean, and you can explain it. What is Patreon?
Patreon's a wonderful site made for content creators like us, where we make videos and all sorts of stuff. What's nice is if you make, I think it's like a monthly contribution type thing, you become a patron, you get bonus videos. So all sorts of extra stuff that we do.
Are you saying this thing that says unlock will be unlocked if you're a patron?
You
So
unlock.
when you contribute, this is what happens. Ready? Boop. You get Sean looking at you. Funny.
Yeah, and you get all this extra stuff. It's just great. And handouts that are attached to things as well. Should be two on that one.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I better get, I can update it. So there's two handouts. Apparently I only have one. Sometimes we have classes that normally don't have posted on. Sometimes we put presets for instruments on here. There's all sorts of wonderful things.
Yeah, and it just allows us to keep this online adventure going, and you get extra stuff.
Yeah, and so we are up to 169 members. We want to make that 200 after today. So if you're a member already, maybe sign up under a different email and become another member. Keep contributing. And last but not least, I better do this before Jerome starts playing music in the background. He's over there tinkering around. Last but not least, we have something really cool we're doing. We have, as you know, last year in April, we started doing, actually, it was, what was it, April? We started doing concerts and classes and all sorts of things. And over the course of the last year, we had such great talent, internal talent. We've had some talent that we've gotten across. And 2 weeks from today, which is the 26th, mark your calendars, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have a debut virtual performance at Fletcher Music Centers from a dear friend of mine. I've known him since 1993. In fact, when I started at Fletcher Music Centers, he was kind of like a mentor to me. In fact, to the point where we got so good, I got good enough in Fletcher Music Centers that we used to compete with each other month in and month out. And so we hated each other's guts at work, but after work, we were great friends. No, we've always been close friends. And I'm going to show you two pictures. First, he's off today, so I think he has an excuse. But Mr. Dave Jazaides, there he is. Wave at Dave. Wave to Dave. Dave Jazaides has got the day off. He's barbecuing, and so he is going to be a featured artist 2 weeks from today, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to tell you, Jerome and I were talking earlier, and I said, you know someone is pretty good when they say they need a D-flat pedal working because they're going to play a song in D-flat. How often do we hear that? Actually, Dave, I have to tell you, I play in D-flat all the time, almost every single day.
And his doesn't work either.
Yeah, and I just used I just used the transpose button. That's how I get around it. But that's what Dave looks like now. 2 weeks from now, Dave's going to look. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me pull up the right one. Give me a second here. There it is. Dave is going to look a little bit more like, let's see, virtual concerts. There we go. He's going to look more like this. Is that right, Dave?
I'll be in a shirt and tie. It is
Okay.
Southwest
No
Florida.
tuxedo? Okay.
No tuxedo.
All right. But here you got it. That's your snazzy suit and tie there.
Yeah.
We got to see if we can get two cameras going so we can show off your pedal work. Dave does, you just don't want to miss it. That's all I can tell you. I actually, Dave, I have a CD of yours that I got from way back, and my daughter, Hannah, listens to it occasionally.
That's awesome.
And we still have a CD player, believe it or not. I got an old boom box, and we do throw it in once in a while. And Dave he's going to play some classics, boy, I tell you, some great oldies, some probably the big band era, what have you. I'm not going to spoil the beans, but all I'm going to say is it's going to be worth catching. And if you're wondering, how do I watch this concert? Dave, you may ask, how do they watch my concert?
Rob, how do they watch my concert?
I'm glad you asked, Dave. All you have to do is go to our website at FletcherMusic.com and hit this virtual classes and events tab. And this shows you all of the events that are happening. This shows you everything that's happening over the next 7 days or so. But when it gets a little closer, you can look for it in advance. You just hit the little dot here, and it'll pull up, and it says there's a class early that day. And if you scroll, it just real simply says Dave Gisaides in concert. And then all you have to do when it's time is click that link, and it automatically patches in like today. Okay? And all of the times on here are represented in Eastern time zone. So we have a special treat for you. That's going to be a blast. And yes, I will announce it. I will email it many times between now and then. So and as you can tell, Dave knows the Roland very well. So he is going to perform on one of our Roland organs. Yes.
Absolutely. A 90 SL.
All right. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So thank you for attending today and helping us out, Dave.
My pleasure.
And last but not least, Jerome has been pushing buttons behind me here, making noise. And so he's going to finish up with a closing number or two, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to do a closing number of one.
He's going to do one closing number. It's going to be an extended closing number. And I'll tell you, you just got to say, I've got the feeling. I've got the feeling. So here goes, Mr. Jerome Johnson, everybody. Gotta start over. Stop. You turned that setting off again.
I couldn't.
Yes, you did. We gotta figure this part out. So guess what, folks? That was take one. Intro. Take two. All right. Well, thank you very much, folks. We hope you enjoyed today's session. Now, Jerome, you have to look over here.
Oh, hi y'all.
I have a little birdie here on the top of the screen. Yeah, smile, say cheese. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed. I'll get in here too.
All right. Just remember, there's more
There's our
classes.
screenshot.
Yeah. Now,
There's
gonna
more,
have- we're
there's
gonna have
more
more classes?
classes on this instrument.
yeah, this is the first of hopefully many. So the more the merrier always, and be on the lookout. We'll have some more classes in the future. But one thing at Fletcher Music Centers we realize is we're Fletcher Music Centers, and that means we cater to all organ hobbyists, no matter what instrument you have. So stay tuned in. Stay tuned in for our concert coming up in the next couple weeks. We got some great classes. I'll be sending out notices and emails and et cetera, smoke signals. I have pigeons, birds that are going to drop off special messages. Join the class today, you name it. So thank you very much, and we'll see you real soon.
Goodbye, guys.
I think those same birds dropped off some special
See you
messages in
later.
my car
Thanks,
this
guys.
morning.
Good job.
Bye, everybody.
Enjoyed it. Bye now.